How's it going, everyone? T-Rav here, and welcome to a spooky Halloween special. Ooh. Anyway, so I decided to do something special this Halloween. As you can clearly tell, I don't know why to repeat myself, but I am turning the boys, well, more specifically, 4 members of the 7 into zombies. And just a bit of a warning, this story gets pretty dark near the end, to a point where I'm questioning if I should change it. But y'all will see. Or maybe not, depending if I did change it. Anyway, enough yapping. Let's start drawing. Zombie 7. Well, 4 out of 7. Who knows, if this video gets a lot of likes, I might do a part 2 and finish the rest of the 7. Anyway, roll the clips. It all started back in 1939, when Nazi scientists were experimenting on humans to create the perfect super soldier. They created Compound V, a drug that grants superpowers, but when taken by adults, it made the users extremely ill, ultimately killing them. Then the scientists realized that giving Compound V to infants, the odds of survival increased, but it unknowingly created a ticking time bomb. Many years later, and fought as a multi-million-dollar company who monopolized the superhero industry by creating a bunch of soups, it would make billions off of merchandise alone. The most famous is Homelander, the soup that stands for truth, justice, and the American way. He is also a megalomaniacal maniac degenerate with a childish attitude. He was on his way to a convention to promote a new movie starring the 7, until he noticed blood dripping from his nose and ears. With Homelander's ability, it is nearly impossible for him to get sick. He has to be a perfect specimen. He can't go out in front of the crowd looking like this. So he called off his appearance, forcing the Deep to take his place, and flies off to his apartment in Fog Towers. There, he started to hit a secret supply of milk, hoping it would calm his nerves. But all it did was make him vomit blood. He was getting chills. His skin started to turn blotchy and blue. His eyes were starting to glaze over. He felt the blood coursing through his veins faster and faster, until it suddenly stopped. His brain began to shut down. Everything was getting fuzzy. The room was spinning. Then, Homelander collapsed. A few hours passed, and he started to wake up, and he was really hungry. He was knocking at the door. It was the Deep, ready to chew Homelander out for leaving him to do the whole Q&A by himself. Homelander shambles to the door, opening it. The Deep sees Homelander and asks if they are supposed to do a zombie special on FOD+. Then Homelander lunges at the Deep, biting a chunk out of his shoulder, and then spitting it out, muttering that Compound V tastes terrible. An intern accidentally dropped the binder in the hall as they witnessed what Homelander did in horror. This grabs his attention as he flies towards them and starts eating them, tearing chunks of flesh and meat, blood covering the halls. As the alarms began to blare, and people began to panic. After being attacked by the zombie Homelander, the Deep runs to his apartment. He was packing everything he could. Then he heard a familiar voice coming from the closet. The voice belonged to Ambrosius, the octopus. She asked him what all the screaming was about. The Deep answered her by saying Homelander had gone completely insane and bit him. As he's pointing to the bite, it started to look more infected. His veins began to pulse and glow blue with the Compound V in his blood. Then the Deep realized, how can he be so stupid? Homelander was a zombie, and he infected him. This sudden realization started to fade as his mind was getting hazy and blood began to drain from his ears and nose. Ambrosius looked back in horror as Kevin began to rot and decompose before her eyes. The Deep grabbed Ambrosius out of her tank and started to eat her, as she was crying out in pain, telling him to stop. Then silence. He ran out of his room looking for more prey, like a shark on the prowl, as he spotted more interns running for their lives. Fog Tower was in lockdown, as metal doors began to close everywhere. Easy pickings, Deep thinks, as his hunger was not yet satisfied. He starts attacking interns left and right, then stops eating them once when they become infected and start tasting like Compound V. The more people Homelander and the Deep attacked, the more the infection spread, where the whole building was being overrun by zombie soups. As alarms were blaring and metal doors were closing all around Fog Towers, zombie Homelander and the Deep were running out of food. While in their zombie states, they did have some ability to think, and seeing humans turning into zombie soups, Homelander got an idea. He wanted to spread the fires and turn humans into zombie soups, and farm the uninfected, making sure they have a never-ending supply of food. Homelander catches a blue blur from the corner of his eye. A-Train managed to run out of Vought Towers before all hell broke loose. Homelander uses laser vision to burn a hole through the protective metal doors and flies towards A-Train. It was a race for his life. He had to outrun Homelander, but it was no use. His heart was about to give out. Then he felt an intense burning sensation across his waist. Homelander uses laser vision again, this time carving A-Train in half. His legs were still running for a brief moment, as his torso began to slide off. Homelander hovers over A-Train with an intimidating grin. A-Train tried to crawl back, but the pain was too much. Then Homelander grabbed his arm and bites it, spitting out the awful tasting compound V. The infection mixed with A-Train's super speed spread through his body instantly, turning him into a zombie. Then Homelander gave him a task: infect as many people as possible and let the hunger spread. And he did just that. He ran, or crawled his way through the city with his speed, spreading the infection, causing a super zombie pandemic. The boys, Butcher, Huey, MM, Frenchie, Starlight, and Kimiko caught wind of what was going on. They took shelter out of the city and started planning their next move. Homelander, the Deep, and A-Train are now zombies, and they are purposely spreading the super zombie plague to make everyone they can into zombie soups, while leaving the uninfected to farm for later. They have an idea. They need Black Noir. There's no way that he'll still be loyal to Homelander, right? Black Noir is skilled with hand-to-hand combat, has increased strength, speed, he is incredibly stealthy, and he is really durable. So there's no possible way he got infected. The downside is, they had to infiltrate Vought Towers to find him. It just so happens that Starlight was a brief member of the Seven, so she knows the layout at the towers and where they were more likely to find Black Noir. They're driving through the city, guns blazing, energy beams firing, and they burst away into the now ruined Vought Towers. Kimiko and Starlight were killing the zombies, mowing their way to Black Noir's room, and when they opened the door, they saw a sight none of them will ever forget. Madeline Stillwell lying lifeless on the floor. Her stomach was ripped open, with a trail of blood leading towards a dark, shadowy corner. The boys hear gnawing, crunching, chewing, and faint crying. They walk closer to the sounds. Starlight eyes begin to water as they see Black Noir, the key to stopping Homelander, eating Stillwell's baby. Butcher tells everyone to get the hell out of here. Then Black Noir tries to lunge at them, only getting stopped by Kimiko. She looks back at the group, then at the exit, and with a nod of her head, the group knew she was telling them that she got this, and to save themselves. Frenchie didn't want to leave Kimiko, but they had no choice. Butcher grabbed them and they ran for their lives. They got back in their car and drove off. What do they do now? What can they do? Starlight suddenly feels sick. Her nose and ears began to bleed. But she was never bitten. It was there the boys realized that all soups were infected. Okay, should I leave that part in about the whole baby eating thing? That's a little dark, right? Just a little bit. But it is somewhat of a reference to comics. Ugh. I don't think YouTube is going to like this very much. Alrighty, and there we have it. 4 out of the 7 members of the Seven. And, yeah, that whole scene with Black Noir and the baby. Spoiler alert, that is a reference in the comics. I did change it because in the comics Stillwell was a guy and he wasn't pregnant, and there was like a whole bit about Black Noir being Homelander's clone, and Butcher taking pictures of Homelander. Well, it was Black Noir that he was taking pictures of, thinking he was Homelander, to blackmail Homelander. And one of the pictures was him eating the baby. Yeah, the comics are really dark. It's a mature comic. It's also a mature series on Amazon as well. So, you know, trigger warnings. So yeah, anyway, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun YouTuber stuff. And let me know if you want to see part 2. And yeah, anyway, this has been The Boys in a Zombie Universe. I'll catch you guys in the next video. T-Rav signing out. See ya!